So check this out. If I come into this system and I do run once, and while it's waiting for data, I go into my Telegram bot and I say, by 8 a.m., I have a meeting with the team. By 10 a.m., I will be having lunch. By 12 p.m., I have a meeting with a colleague. By 1 p.m., I will be having lunch dinner. I will be having brunch date with the girls. And by 2 p.m., I will be having a coaching consultation. So if I send that into my system, it goes in and gets the transcripts for me and generates all and extracts all of the tags that I have mentioned from and it goes ahead to create all of them for me. So it's going to create them and you can see them coming here. So as you can see today at 8 a.m. meeting with the team, lunch by 10 a.m. and then you can see meeting with a colleague by 12 a.m. and then consultation by 2 p.m. and then lunch with the girls you can see by 1 p.m. So you can see it has listed, it has created all of my tasks for me, and that way anytime I'm just done with any of them, I can just always come here and mark them as complete. As you can see, a very, very easy and simple way to have a good to-do that you can always follow instead of always running around and be like, oh, what am I to do today? What can't I do today? What am I supposed to, what am I missing? And all of that. This is a simple automation that will allow you to have something like that. All you have to do is just send in your voice notes of the things you have to do for that day, and it's going to go ahead and create a very nice and neat to-do list for you on your, whatever tool you use. In this case, I'm using ClickUp, so it will go ahead to create all of your tasks for you for that day, so that you can just go in and be checking them off each time you get done with any of them, right? So let's just simply build this out. Like you can see, it's very simple. It just has few couple steps, something that you can basically just set up yourself as a complete beginner. So what you're going to use to build it is called make.com. So make.com is free to sign up on. So you're just going to sign up. Once you sign up, this dashboard that you will see. So you click on create scenario here. Your first module is going to be the webhook module, and this is the module that is going to look for data when it comes into the bot. So when the bot receives updates, it's going to trigger the automation to run. So what you're going to look for rather is Telegram bots. So what we want to do is watch for updates. So anytime a new update comes into our webhook, we are going to receive that and work with that. So we go ahead and create our webhook here. So to create a webhook, just click on create a webhook, and it's going to give you your webhook name. If you want to change it, you can always change it here. And then your connection here, make sure that you have established your Telegram connection already. If not, you just do add here, and it's going to ask you for a Telegram token. So how you will get the token is to come here and message bot feathers. Yeah, so you look for this bot father, Abby. Yeah, I think bot father is going to give you, you're going to message them. I can't open that because that's where my own token is, but you're going to message them and ask them tell them that you want to create a bot, and they're going to create it for you and give you the token as well. So that's the token that you're going to come back into your setup and provide it here, right? That's where you're going to provide it, but I've already done that, so I'm just going to click on save here to create my webhook, right? So now that I have created my webhook, I'll save that. Always remember to save this. So the next thing that you want to do is, in this case, you're only going to be sending voice notes for your to do. So what you want to do is hold up, your phone against yourself. In this case, I'm using a laptop because I'm using my phone to record, so I try to make it as convenient for me as possible. But say you're going to be holding your phone and dropping voice notes. So the voice note is going to be an attachment, of course. So what you want to do is be able to download the voice note from Telegram into the setup. So the next thing is going to be, we call the Telegram bot again. And what you're going to look for is download a document. That's what you download a file, right? So what we want to do is be able to download that file. So we get the file from we get the file ID from here. We say attachment here, and you see file ID here. But even if you do this, you will still find the same file ID here. But in this case, it's going to be an attachment, so it might not be a document or image. It might not fall in there, but it will always fall in as this attachment. So tag gives to this file ID right here, and then you save these, and then you save these, right? The next thing that you want to do now is to add your ChatGPT module that is going to transcribe that audio for you. So what we want to do is add our AI module, and in this case it's Whisper. It's Whisper that is going to help us transcribe that audio. So just type Whisper here, and Whisper is always like connected to ChatGPT, like they put it in the same bundle, right? So that's where you're going to see it here, like, so you're going to see generated translation. So that's what it's going to do for you. So you establish your connection here. I already done mine, but if you don't have that, you can just click add, and you go into your ChatGPT. You go to platforms.openai.com, and then you'll be able to get your OpenAI key here. So you have to make sure that, of course, you have your credit card for your billing in your billing stage, so that you'll be able to generate this API. So you can just follow this prompt and click on here or click here. you'll be able to see the full details of how you can create that. But if you want me to do a video, just let me know. Okay, so once you have that connection, it's just automatically going to map to the file that it has downloaded from the Telegram bot. So the model, of course, is going to be Whisper. That's what it's going to do. So what we want it to do is, in this case, what I have done is that, so what we want it to do is translate my audio. Transcribe, sorry. So what it's going to return is it's going to return your audio for you, like the transcription for you. So we save that. So the next thing that we want to do is use AI again to generate our, to pull our data together, if that makes sense. So what is going to return now if I go back to this setup so that you will see what it returned here. So this is what it returned. It just returned everything by 8 a.m. I have a meeting with the team. By 10 a.m. I will be having lunch by 12 p.m. So this is how it returns. So it returns everything clustered, right? And you cannot use this data that you have here to create your task on your, maybe Notion, ClickUp. You can't use that to create a task. So we needed to split it into its individual tasks. Okay, so 8 a.m. meeting with the team, 10 a.m. lunch. So we wanted to split it that way for us so that we can use that now to create our tasks in our ClickUp. That's why we need the second AI module. So what we are going to do is add module here, and then we'll go to OpenAI, and we want to generate a completion. So of course my condition just automatically pops up. So for the model, I like to do, I like to do 4. And I add my messages here. So the first one is going to be developer. I already have a bunch of messages, like the prompt here. So I think I will just work with the prompt I have here already. So I just told it you are a project management assistant, sorry, analyze the data from the transcript and extract every individual task or meeting mentioned, create a separate update for every distinct time block or activity, convert relative time, example 8 a.m. to ISO timestamp using today's date. That's why it's showing us today in my tags. If you see this, close it out. That's why it's showing us today. So it just automatically picks up that all my mentioned dates or tags are for today, right? So I asked you to categorize each of them as business operations and personal. You can leave these ones, but the main important thing is for you to tell it to output it as a JSON. You can give it an example. For me, what I did was title, give me the name, which is like meeting with John, then the time, and then the category. Is it business? Is it whatever? So that's what I just asked you to do. Give me the different tags and their time and their category. But of course, you can always give it a different prompt. So whatever you would prefer, still fine. But this is what I currently have. So I'm just going to add my user message, which is going to be the transcript. So I'm going to do transcript. So the transcript is what is going to come from here. I haven't tested it. So if I did, I would have been able to see the results there. So I will save this. And of course, always remember to save your scenario. So the next thing that I want to do now is have a JSON so that it can split all of the individual data for me that it has. It can split it into its individual bundles, because now I have so many tasks: a meeting by 8, factory visit, brunch. I have them, like all of them are so many tasks scattered, right? But what this AI module is going to do is create all of them as individual tasks, but in one bundle. So what I need the JSON to do is split it into its individual bundles. So what I want to have is 3 bundles of 3 tags that I have mentioned, right? So if I said I have meeting by 8 a.m., I have brunch by this. So if I mention 3 tasks, I want it to return 3 individual bundles, not just everything clustered into one bundle. That's why I need the JSON so I can split it, if that makes sense. But to be able to run my JSON, I need to, I need to test this out so I can get the data and put in my JSON. So what I'm going to do is make this start running once. So while it's waiting for data, I go into my system and I say, by 8 a.m., I have a meeting with the team. By 2 p.m., I'm going to be having brunch date with the girls. By 6 p.m., I will check in with my mom. By 10 p.m., I have a coaching meeting. Okay. Yeah, so it's running now. Just received that data. So it has extracted the things that I need for me. So you can see the long result here. I have meeting with the team, a brunch date with the girls, check in with my mom, or check in with my mom. It decided to hear, because I have an accent, so I don't blame it. Coaching meetings. So I copy this and I go to my JSON and I click add module, and I'm going to search for my JSON, and I'm going to pass a JSON. So what I want to do is, I should already have my daily to do structure here, which I have from this past one that I made. But if you don't already have, you'll just come to add here and rename this. And in this generate, you add your sample data, and then you generate. It will automatically pull up all of the data that you need for you, and then you just save these. But because I already have mine, instead of me just creating another one, I will just stick with this. It's like the same thing. So the result here is going to the JSON string rather is going to be the result from here. So I save this, and then I save this. The last step I'm going to add is going to be the step that actually goes in to create my to-do for me. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for ClickUp. That's what I usually use, but you can use whatever, Notion, whatever. You can also use that as well. But for this, I'm using ClickUp. So I'm going to look for create a text here. So my connection is already established. If yours isn't, just click on add and you'll be redirected to your ClickUp dashboard, and you just connect your workspace and you're good to go. Oh, I did get a tax instead of create a tax, so I have to delete this. So I go back to my ClickUp here, and then I do create a tax. And then my workspace, that's a workspace that I've connected here. So, and then the space here, and then folder, and the list. So I don't have any parent tags that I'm trying to tag it to. So, but the tax name here is going to be the title here, and then the status here, I'll call it a to-do, and then the assignees here, I'll assign it to whoever, like myself in this case, and then the priority here, I would say high because it starts for today. So the due date, I'm going to add the time here, and then I also want to add the due date time. Like I want to add the time as well, not just the due date. I want to add the time as well. So I say yes, and then estimated term. I can just leave this empty, right? I can just leave this empty if I don't want to fill that. The start time in here is going to also come from here, because I in my voice notes I didn't mention start time, but in your case if you want to always mention like start time and end time, that also works. But in this case, due date is almost start time. Yeah, that's the way it works in my head. But if it's different in your own head, of course, by all means you can remove this, and I do yes here. Do I want it to notify all the team? If I have other people, in the group that I also want to notify, like my personal assistant or other people to know what my to do is looking like, so that they'll be able to, manage what I'm going to work with. Like if I have a manager, or say I'm a creator or something like that, and I have a manager, then I might want to notify all of them about my to do, so that if they have to add other things and all of that, that's also fine. So you can leave this, you can manipulate this any way that works for you, and you save this. And finally, you save this. So now this automation is ready to go. So now every time if I run this with existing data, because I'm tired, I don't want to do the voice note again. I mean, literally, I've only have to do like once in a day, just in the morning, you send the voice note and it runs through. But I don't want to do that again. So let me just run it with existing data. So if I run this, oh, I think the JSON is going to have a problem, but let's just see, because the JSON doesn't run the same kind of data twice. It's going to throw up an error. So okay, because it didn't run manually, it didn't run automatically itself. And then the beautiful thing about it is that it extracts them into bundles itself, and then it just directly puts all four of them into our meeting. So if we go in here now, we are going to see this one now. We have by 8 a.m. and then we have 2 p.m. then we have 6 p.m. and then we have this, which is very, very beautiful. So if you are done, you can just go ahead and mark this as complete. Anyone you are done, mark it as complete, which is very beautiful. So let me know if this is something that you would like to have for yourself, just so it will reduce the manual level of having to, go in and create your tasks yourself, or also sometimes even forgetting tasks that you had to do because you didn't have them, written down somewhere. And that wraps it for our video today. If you like content like this, please leave a comment, like, and share. And if you want me to build a custom setup for your business, please, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. And I'm going to see you in my next one. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Mwah!